The UK's worst podcast has just embarrassed themselves even more after the whole Rebecca Goodwin situation. Now, I know that this is really well trodden ground at this point, so I'm not going to go over everything that's happened so far. I'm just going to go over what's recently come out off the back of the podcast airing. But I'll give you a brief overview of everything that has gone on just in case you're out of the loop. So, a podcast by the name of The Reality Check, who basically interview OnlyFans content creators, right, for content themselves. Their thumbnails include them with their boobs and their bums out and stuff like this. It's proper clickbaity stuff. Had an OnlyFans creator on by the name of Rebecca Goodwin. Now, Rebecca Goodwin is very different to many other content creators who do that kind of work, right? Because she's basically using her platform to try and better other people, to try and make other people's lives a little bit easier. So she's got a housing scheme where she buys a few different properties and she rents them out who are struggling to afford the ever-growing economical climate, and basically rents out the houses for basically less than what they're worth, and even sometimes tops up their rent to support them in that capacity. So she's doing a lot of good work.
What are you doing with that money?
It goes into property, so I'm doing the affordable housing scheme. Which is where I buy property outright, usually like 2-bedroom terrace, and we rent them out, we being me and my business partner, we rent them out to people that are low income families for prices like £450 a month for a 2-bed terrace house. So yeah, it's like, obviously I bought the houses anyway, so it's not completely selfless because all these properties will belong to my kids.
But the government subsidise you, right?
No, not yet. We want to turn it into a charity so that it's tax-free, but we're not at that point. I don't get anything.
So how much would you buy a 2-bed house for?
85,000.
Wait, where are you getting these from?
Chesterfield. So the house that I'm in now, Chesterfield. The house I'm in now is going to be one of the rental properties. I'm waiting to buy a farm and I'm moving out of it. That's 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom, three-story house, 2 driveway. That was 230,000.
It's cheap.
And what's that?
Very cheap up north. Yeah,
God.
completely different prices.
For like 60 grand, 50 grand.
Yeah, I've got lots of properties that are just like on the mark of 70 to 85,000.
You can't get nothing for that here.
Yeah. Well, obviously, they pay themselves as well when you've got the tenants in. But like I said, it is all like a portfolio to pass down to my 2 kids.
She's also a victim of SA from when she was a child, and that is important information for later on.
You saving your dignity,
my dignity was long gone way before I had this job. Like, my dignity was robbed of me when I was 4 years old. I'm reclaiming everything that was taken from me, okay? Everything.
How are you reclaiming it by doing OnlyFans?
Because men used my body, and now I'm using my body to reclaim what was taken from me. My dignity was stolen as a child. I was raped as a child. I was groomed as a child. Like, there's no dignity there. Obviously, it's common knowledge that the more people, that if people were, groomed or raped as a child, then they are more hypersexual as an adult. I'm going to use that to monetize from every single person that has ever taken from me, and I think I've done that pretty well.
So she goes on to the Reality Check podcast. The podcast starts out with the guys being like, hey, we got demonetized on YouTube, come and support our Patreon, before then completely bullying and harassing a multi-millionaire.
Hey guys, we need some help from all of you. We have been demonetized on YouTube, so we literally don't earn anything from these videos anymore. We need your support to keep this channel going. So we've got a Patreon, link down below. We are going to be putting in extra videos. We're going to be doing like some behind the scenes stuff, some videos of me and CJ just going out and, causing carnage. And we're going to just be doing all different types of content on there. So if you could want to help us and want to support the channel and keep it going, make sure you click the link down below, and yeah, that will do us wonders, please.
It was quite embarrassing. The internet has torn these guys apart. The fact that the podcast is still actually live on YouTube is an embarrassment in and of itself. But the internet has rallied to support Rebecca Goodwin, and these guys are not in anyone's good books right now. They've just made their whole situation 10 times worse. So Rebecca Goodwin has come out on her social medias to basically thank everyone for their support and talks about what has gone on since the podcast went live.
I thought I'd give you a quick update because I feel like you deserved it after the overwhelming amount of support that I've had.
So me and my sister have spoken and obviously agreed to remove the videos about each other off of our pages. Now, the podcast in question has approached both my sister and her place of work, asking if she would like to appear on the podcast to clear up the family's name. Now, my sister has responded, saying that she wants absolutely nothing to do with the podcast, and she's disgusted in the way that they treat me. And obviously, what she was saying on her TikTok was not that she was cancelling out my experience as a child, but she didn't have the same experiences. Which I'm glad she didn't, and I don't want anyone to attack my sister. I love my sister. Obviously, it was a bit of a shock to the system when I didn't see immediate support, but she's there now, she's helping. It's obviously very, very overwhelming when your family's in the spotlight. Now, my mum, I never brought my mum into anything. I love my mum with all my heart. I do employ her. She does have my kids when I'm at work. I do pay her to do that. That is something that I want to do as well, because I want my family to be happy. I'm sure that anybody, that gets money would use that in helping their family as well. Now, the issue that I'm left with here is that the podcast itself has taken my sister's content without permission. She has voiced that she does not want them to share it, and posted it onto their Instagram, trying to make out that I am a liar about my childhood trauma. Not only that, but they have reached out to other models and reminded them that our addresses are on the model release form and they would not be afraid to turn up at our addresses. Now, I know the term narcissistic abuse is used very, very loosely in the society at the moment, but when I say that these men are genuine narcissists, I need you to believe me. They will stop at nothing. Now, as much as I'm worried for myself, I'm also worried for everybody else that's been on the podcast. Not only that, but I'm worried for the people that have already been recorded by this podcast and will not want to be put out after this movement. But I am trying everything I can to get this to not happen. Now, I am tired of this. This was never, ever supposed to be a PR stunt. I was genuinely just travelling down to London for free from up north, and I did not expect any of this, and I gave them the opportunity to never upload that video. Now, I don't know how they thought that uploading it would work in their favour, but they chose to do it. I uploaded no footage of that day. This is getting boring, guys. You are 3 grown men, okay, and you are attacking women, the same women that you used to build your podcast in the first place. Now, I can't really comprehend what you think it is that you're going to be taking away from this situation, but all I ask is please try and make it on your own now without using my name. Good luck.
So as you can hear there, obviously, Rebecca goes on to state that the podcast has since reached out to her sister in an attempt to try and quote-unquote clear the family name, which I don't know what they've got to clear. I mean, the only names that need to be cleared are you guys, because they are an absolute shambles, especially considering, allegedly, I don't know how true this is, one of the guys on there is also an OnlyFans creator himself, and another one, apparently, allegedly, has got some serious allegations against himself for SA. Now, again, how true that is, I don't know, but apparently that's the case. Allegedly, that's what's going around the rumor mill. So these guys aren't exactly in a place to be criticizing someone who is a victim of SA and also an OF creator. But to then reach out to this person and this person's place of work is just completely desperate. It is so desperate, it's embarrassing. But to make situations even worse, there are screenshots that have come live between some DMs with the Reality Check podcast, and basically it's leaked DMs from the sister, from Rebecca Goodwin's sister, basically with how, the Reality Check podcast reached out stating, hey, we would love to get you on an episode, just the whole drama with Rebecca, and would love to get your side of things and clear your family's name. Please let me know if you're interested and we can have a call to discuss details. To which Rebecca's sister responded, I absolutely want nothing to do with you. The way that you treat my sister is disgusting. I have not sided in any way with you. I simply explained my truth. Hers is different and may well be true. I was defending I wasn't witness as a child. Not that it didn't happen. And I do not give you permission to reuse any of my content. And I set the settings to say it couldn't be reused. So I ask that you take my images / videos down before I take legal action. I have made my sister aware you do not have permission to use it. So this, of course, is in reference to the SA claims that Rebecca has put out there on the podcast. And basically, the reality check guys have tried to claim that because her sister was not witness to it, therefore it must not have happened. When in actual fact, what was said was that she didn't witness it, so she can't say categorically that yes or no it did or did not happen. But the reality check guys are massive fans of taking things hugely out of context to fit their narrative, and that is something that we've seen multiple times, not just in the Rebecca Goodwin case, but when they talk about any content creator or any OnlyFans creator, which is quite ironic considering that their podcast literally would not survive if they did not have this kind of person around to have on their podcast. They thrive off of these people. But the only thing that's come off the back of this podcast, it just goes to show that these guys literally just despise women. That's all it must be, or successful women at that. And, you know, even the way that Rebecca Goodwin was introduced was absolutely abhorrent.
Anyways, today we have hoe number one. What's your name?
Wow, it's Rebecca Goodwin.
But in classic influencer fashion, they cannot be wrong. They have done nothing wrong. They cannot be wrong. They will not be wrong, and they will not have it said that they are wrong when they absolutely are in the wrong. Everyone apart from them can seem to see it. But anyone who tries to defend Rebecca Goodwin, call these guys out, or call out their bullshit behavior is basically met with just a nastiness made about them. Whether it be about their BMI, whether it be about how much lip filler they've got, whether it be about how they look, it is just disgusting behavior. You'd think that these guys would quit. I would say while they're ahead, but they're absolutely not ahead. You'd think they just quit, and I hope that they do quit. There's not, like, I never want to see someone's career fall off. I would never advocate for something like that. But when these pricks come online, God, I've said it for ages, their podcast is dog shit, and I hope that, like, their podcast just gets deleted from the platform. It absolutely deserves to be.
The guy from the Reality Check podcast is doing too much. Not only has he harassed Rebecca Goodwin to the point of reaching out to her sister and emailing her sister's work, he's responding to DMs and comments that defend Rebecca Goodwin in such a derogatory, disgusting way. So any women that DM the page or comment on the page defending Rebecca and basically calling them out, he's responding, attacking them for things like the BMI, how much lip filler they've got, what cosmetic surgeries they've had, job status, even threatened to email someone's job in response to this DM. He's doing too much. Not only is he harassing women for clicks, he's been called out for being a fucking PDF file. Like, are you okay, mate? Do you need assistance? Men in white jackets. Why do you want to dig yourself a deeper hole publicly? The most disgusting male I have ever, I'd say encountered, but I haven't encountered on the internet. Like, your mum must be super fucking proud of you.
Interestingly, their podcast has been removed from Instagram after reusing the post, so I don't know whether legal action was taken against these guys. I hope it has been, because it's the only way they're going to seem to be learning or stopping. But what do you guys think about this? This is obviously just a recap on what's happened thus far. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. While you're down there, jump scare the hell out of that like button, subscribe if you're new, and until next time, I'll speak to you later. Peace.